Hello everyone, welcome to class series, and in this video we're going to be discussing our question answers of our chapter Luther Burbank. So let's mount our first main, that is C1. Answer the following questions and share your responses with your partner. In that our first question is, name the fields in which Luther Burbank's influence prevails. The answer of this question is, Luther Burbank's influence prevails in the scientific community among those who work in the fields of agriculture, horticulture and forestry and livestock. Our second question is, when was Luther Burbank born? The answer of this question is, Luther Burbank was born on 7th of March 1849. Our third question is, what was Luther Burbank's goal in life? The answer of this question is, Luther Burbank's goal was to grow new varieties of flowers, fruits and vegetable plants. Our fourth question is, name the book that helped Burbank to decide on his goal of life. The answer of this question is, the book that helped Burbank to decide on his goal of life is by Drouin's book, that is Variation of Animals and Plants Under Domestication. Our fifth question is, mention the name of the new variety of potato plant which grown by Burbank. The answer of this question is, Idaho potato was a new variety of potato plant grown by Burbank. Our sixth question is, how was the weather in the state of California? The answer of this question is, the weather in the state of California was mild and the soil was rich and varied. Our seventh question is, how many varieties of fruits and Burbank grow on acre of his farm? The answer of this question is, Burbank had grown several thousand varieties of fruits on an acre of his farm. He had grown 526 different types of apples on the same tree by grafting. Our eighth question is, what is grafting? The answer of this question is, grafting basically means cutting a living twig of plant and fixing it in a cut made in another plant to form a new growth. Let's mount a second main, that is C2. Which of the following things was Burbank able to do because of his experimentation? Tick off right against the true statement and a wrong against others. Option A, growing hundreds of varieties of apples. Right. Option B, spending 15 years for a tree to bear fruit. False. Option C, making a young plant yield fruit in a year or two. Right. Option D, growing about 526 varieties of apples in 1 acre of his farm. True. Let's mount our next main, that is C3. Read and discuss your responses with your partner, then write. In that our first question is, how did Burbank's genius benefit the life of a common man? The answer of this question is, the projects of Burbank genius continue to play a part in the day-to-day lives of the people throughout the world. His influence prevails in the scientific community among those who work in the fields of agriculture, horticulture, forestry and livestock. Burbank's most important contribution is the lovely flower that never existed before. He developed a fruit and vegetable, the taste of which was improved with his experiment. This is how Burbank benefited from the life of a common man. Our second question is, why did Burbank move from Massachusetts to California? The answer of this question is, Burbank found that the climate of his native place was not suitable for his work, so he moved to the state of California at the age of 26. In California, the weather was mild and the soil was fertile and varied. It was a suitable place for his work. Our third question is, what did Burbank call his new home and why? The answer of this question is, Burbank called his new home as the chosen spot because he considered that place to be the best suited for his work when compared to other places on the earth. Our fourth question is, how did grafting help Burbank in his experimentation? The answer of this question is, grafting helped Burbank to get several thousand different varieties of fruits in 1 acre of his farm. He had grown 526 different types of apple on the same tree by grafting. It helped him not only to save space but also to speed up his experiments. Instead of waiting for 15 years for a tree to give fruits, he would graft and get fruits in just 2 or 3 years. Our fifth question is, in what way did Burbank save space and speed up his experiments? The answer of this question is, Burbank was able to grow several thousand different varieties of fruits by grafting. He grafted many twigs on a single tree. He had grown 526 different types of apples on the same tree. It was possible for him not only to save space but also to speed up his experiments. Our sixth question is, what were Burbank's experiments on cherry, blackberry, cactus and shasta daisy? The answer of this question is, he developed an improved cherry, a thornless blackberry, a cactus without thorns that is largely used as food for livestock, a peach tree that could withstand freezing weather and new flower shasta daisy. Let's move on to our next segment, that is C4. Write a paragraph on each of the following. In that, our first question is write a note on Burbank's early life. The answer of this question is Burbank was born on 7th of March 1849. He was brought up on a farm in the state of Massachusetts. He was attracted towards the wonders of nature and learned the techniques of growing various crops and plants during his early years. But when he read drawings books, that is, variation of animals and plants under domestication, he decided to devote his life to grow new varieties of plants. He started market gardening and became successful in his life. Our second question is describe the three techniques on which Burbank's experiments were based. The answer of this question is Burbank made the experiments on three basic techniques. He had grown a variety of domestic and foreign plants under different conditions. They would prove strong, plentiful, and showed after desirable qualities. Secondly, he had grown many varieties of fruits, flowers, and vegetables by changing water, food supply, temperature, light, or space. He had grown very dissimilar qualities of plants by crossing the plants. In the final step, he could recognize and select the plants which showed desirable changes and selected them for further experiments. Our third question is how did Burbank react when some of his efforts ended in failure? The answer of this question is Burbank was not disappointed when his efforts ended in failure. At one time, he crossed a tomato with potato. Though a vegetable was produced, it had no commercial value, but his devotion was so deep and strong that nothing could disappoint him.